Welcome back to my channel. I'm Christoph and I'm glad you're here. Today I want to share with you my updated packing list for the Camino de Santiago for 2024. This includes the gear I currently use for pilgrimages and hiking and what I would take with me if I were to start the Camino de Santiago tomorrow. In this video I'll share with you what I pack in my backpack, how I organize everything and what items I leave behind. You can find all the items I've presented here, which I personally use, detailed on my blog, along with recommendations. If you want to buy any of these for yourself, you can find the link below the video in the video description. Absolutely one of the most essential items for your pilgrimage is your backpack. The model I'm currently using is a ULA Ohm 2.0, which is an ultralight backpack. It is absolutely fantastic because it weighs less than 1 kilo, but it does come with a hefty price tag. This backpack costs nearly 300 euros. I would only recommend it if you frequently go on overnight hiking trips. The models from Deuter and Osprey are both very good brands often seen on the Camino de Santiago. These backpacks do weigh a bit more, usually between 1.5 and 1.8 kilos. But they only cost around 150 euros. Another important point is that there are often special models for women that are slightly adapted to the female body's anatomy, just as a tip. For volume, I would recommend a backpack size of 30 to 50 liters to ensure everything fits. Here are a few tips for organizing your backpack. What makes a lot of sense, I found, is to group your items a bit in the backpack so that everything isn't completely jumbled and disorganized. This way, if you need something specific, you can quickly grab it without having to rummage through everything. You can achieve this by using pouches, for example, to keep similar items together. These are really lightweight, foldable, and most importantly, quiet, which is crucial in pilgrim hostels, so you don't disturb your fellow pilgrims. I would highly recommend taking a few of these with you, and perhaps some waterproof ones as well. Bags where you can put your electronics, such as your phone or even your pilgrim passport. It's important to keep items related to your pilgrim guide dry, as they should definitely not get wet. Speaking of wet, I would definitely bring a rain cover for your backpack and a small day pack that you can open up to use as a day backpack for evening walks. Equally important, and perhaps the most crucial aspect for your Camino de Santiago journey, are your hiking shoes. You don't have to choose those really bulky, high hiking boots that are incredibly heavy and weigh a lot. Since you're not crossing the Alps, but walking the Camino de Santiago, which has many paved sections and not just mountains, mid-height hiking shoes will be perfectly suitable. Make sure you have enough space at the front of the shoe when your foot is inside it, so there's adequate room behind your big toe, because your foot will get slightly larger when you are walking. And that otherwise hurts quite a bit. This is very important, otherwise the shoes should naturally be waterproof, you should break them in a bit, and the model I currently use is the Salewa Alp Trainer 2. I've had very good experiences with it too. Test saw at Stiftung Warentest. As a small tip, if you're experiencing some problems with your feet, it might also be helpful if you consider using orthopedic insoles. I do that too. If you already experience foot pain during a trail hike or while jogging, you will definitely face issues when you go on a pilgrimage for hundreds of kilometers. So it's a good idea to get that checked out if needed. These orthopedic insoles can be prescribed by a healthcare professional, and sometimes they can really save quite a bit of money. Since then, I haven't had any foot problems, and what I would also recommend to you is simply having a second pair of shoes for on the go, like bath slippers, flip-flops, or Crocs. I would recommend these for use in hostels, especially in the sanitary facilities and showers. They are also great if you want to take a walk in the village after your day's stage, so you can easily change your shoes. For hiking socks, I recommend taking 2 to 3 pairs at most. That's definitely sufficient. Just wash them by hand in the hostel in the evening or every other evening, or use a washing machine if available. Otherwise, you'll carry too much with you. For hiking socks, I would definitely prioritize quality. At the moment I'm using the non-endurance hiking socks, and I can definitely recommend them to others. The ones with the pilgrim emblem are from Right Sock, and I've had positive experiences with them as well. And the brand of hiking socks that I have also tested is Fog hiking socks. So you can confidently use any of these three brands. They are comfortably thick and double layered, yet designed to prevent excessive sweating and reduce the risk of blisters. I highly recommend Hilchtal cream for protecting your feet on the Camino de Santiago. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me right now, but I've noted it as a placeholder on my packing list. You can easily get them at any drugstore for 2 to 3 euros, and I would simply recommend applying them to your feet in the morning and evening, before and after your pilgrimage. This simply helps prevent your feet from developing blisters quickly. This is an additional aid alongside these hiking socks. And if you take breaks along the way, just take off your shoes, remove your socks, and let your feet air out a bit. You might even dip them in a fountain or some water for a short while. This is definitely very helpful. Just in case I don't have it here either, so I've written it down. Blister plasters. Definitely take them with you, and as soon as you notice any hint of something starting, put a blister plaster on. Another essential item that you should definitely include on your backpacking list is a sleeping bag. A common question is whether you need a sleeping bag on the Camino de Santiago if staying in these hostels. I would definitely recommend one to you, if only for hygiene reasons. So you have something to lie on and you're not directly on the mattress. Where many people have already slept before you. You do not need a high-end sleeping bag that has extremely low comfort temperatures and limit temperatures. It can also be a budget-friendly sleeping bag. Just make sure to pay attention that it is as light as possible and also has a small pack size. The smaller and lighter the better, since you'll have to carry it. The model I use is the Orbit Plus 5 from Deuter. While there are lighter models available, I've had great experiences with this one, and it's the one I've used most recently. Just like the hiking socks I mentioned earlier, I would apply the same principle to clothing. So take 2 to 3 sets with you, which is completely sufficient, and then wash them in the evening. In my case, that means taking 2 pairs of boxer shorts. For the upper body, it's definitely worth using functional t-shirts that don't make you sweat as quickly and are specifically designed for sports, especially hiking. What I really like to do is take 2 functional t-shirts and then add a long sleeve, just a long sleeve t-shirt, sometimes a slightly thicker long sleeve t-shirt. If it's a bit cooler outside, you have the option to either wear it over the t-shirt or wear it instead of the t-shirt. So those would be my 3 items for the upper body. Then of course you also need a jacket for the pilgrimage, and generally the layering principle is very suitable. This means you have layers you can quickly put on or take off, depending on whether you're warm or cold while running. What I really like to do is bring along such comfortable fleece jackets. So a fleece pullover or a fleece jacket, as you can see. This one's from Salewa, and I've had good experiences with it. It's a 100 weight fleece, and if I'm hiking in the summer, it's usually sufficient. However, if I'm planning on going hiking during the off-season months such as March, April, September or October, I would definitely make sure to bring along an additional fleece pullover that's a bit thicker, preferably something like a 200 weight fleece, to ensure that you're warm enough. Even if it's quite warm during the day while running, it can get really cold in the early mornings and evenings during spring and fall. Now let's move on to another important item for your packing list. These are the hiking pants that I would always take with me, and I would always bring 2 pairs of them. And depending on the time of year you're out and about, it might be a good idea to bring just 1 pair of shorts, or even better, have hiking pants with a zip-off feature that allows you to convert them from long pants to shorts by removing the legs. This is not the case with this model. This is the model I am currently using before the class from Decathlon. It's an affordable but really good pair of hiking pants that I've been very satisfied with so far. Nothing to complain about yet. And when I'm out and about in the summer, I might just take an extra pair of jogging pants with me. Or maybe I'll buy another pair of hiking pants while I'm at it. Either a short pair of hiking pants or one with zip-off legs with sun protection as a consideration. If you're out and about in the summer, I would definitely recommend wearing some kind of headgear, such as a cap or even a hat. And of course, don't forget to apply sunscreen so you're well protected from the sun's harmful rays. If you find yourself on the Camino de Santiago during the summer months, another super important item that should be on your Camino packing list is a reliable rain jacket. I've been using this rain jacket from Mammoth for years and I'm very satisfied with it. Sometimes the question is asked, rain jacket or poncho? Both are fine. The important thing is that you have one of the two. If you decide to buy a rain jacket, you should make sure it has a good water column rating and that it is really well sealed at the seams and transitions to prevent rain from coming in, as that would be very unpleasant for you while traveling. If I happen to have some extra space in my backpack, which is rarely the case, and feel like it, and perhaps if I'm traveling in the off-season when there are fewer people around, I might also take rain pants in addition to the rain jacket, as they are really very light and easy to carry. But that's really just optional. A rain jacket or a poncho, and what some people also bring along are gaiters that go over the shoes to provide extra protection. Another important topic is of course a towel. For the Camino, you should definitely take a microfiber towel with you because it dries much faster than the classic towels you have at home. This will be particularly useful during your journey. The downside is they're just not as fluffy, the microfiber towels, but they're light and they dry quickly. They are available from various brands, for example also with Camino design. Yes, a frequently asked question is, do I need trekking poles on the Camino or not? It depends on the one hand on which route you're taking. If you're doing the Camino Porto, you probably don't need them, but if you're doing the Camino Primitivo or the Camino del Norte, both routes with a lot of mountains, it would make more sense. Apart from that, it's really a matter of personal preference whether you like to hike with trekking poles or not. I would definitely recommend trying it out at home if you're interested in giving it a go. Personally, I found that I didn't like it much. It's just a feeling I have, but despite that I still packed them because many people use them and they help many people by reducing the strain on the body. Even though it wasn't my favorite, I recognize the benefits they offer to others. What you can alternatively do, of course, is simply find a walking stick on site in the forest and use that. That's what I've done sometimes. Yes, this is my toiletry bag and the contents of it, what I would take with me if I were to start my pilgrimage tomorrow. The most important thing I don't have here, so I wrote it on the card as a placeholder, is hand wash soap. I always make sure to have hand wash soap with me because it's essential for maintaining hygiene during my travels. So you can easily wash your clothes every evening or every other evening in the hostel. Because not every hostel has a washing machine, so it's very important. Then, something that is also very important for many people is earplugs, so you can sleep better at night and get the rest you need. Toothpaste, travel toothbrush, shower gel, deodorant, a comb, nail scissors, chewing gum, some tissues, and possibly something like a travel pharmacy. For example, I have an electrolyte solution here in case you get diarrhea on the way, or ibuprofen headache tablets. Things like that, everyone has to decide a bit individually what they need. Yes, let's move on to another category on the packing list, and that's valuables and everything related to them. Of course, your wallet is the most important. I wouldn't take more than 250 euros or 200 euros in cash, because otherwise there's just the risk of losing it. On the move, I'll withdraw the rest while I'm on the way. Of course, it's super important to have your pilgrim's passport, your pilgrim's guide, a cell phone with a charger, and possibly a power bank. Another thing I always find useful is an ebook reader, so you can read something in the evening since carrying too many books is just too heavy. I also think it's very important to have a diary with a pen. A Spanish phrase book is optional, as well as a glasses case and sunglasses. Additionally, don't forget your health insurance card and maybe a travel credit card for withdrawing money along the way. Yes, and now, lastly, let's take a look at the topic of provisions and everything related to it. It's really important that you definitely bring a very large water bottle with you. This one holds 1 liter, which I recommend. Alternatively, you could use 2 smaller ones or a hydration bladder, which is more space efficient and foldable. So something I always like to bring along with me, which you might not immediately think of, is a Tupperware container. This way, if you buy some rolls, cold cuts, cheese or anything else, it won't mess up your backpack or leak and cause a mess. Isn't it great you can store it in Tupperware? A pocket knife is always handy, whether for a quick picnic, opening cans or similar tasks. This is really handy here. You get a spoon, knife and fork all in one convenient tool. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who needs a versatile utensil. It's always a good idea to carry some simple snacks with you. Nuts are always good on the go, and fruit like apples and bananas is naturally good, as are granola bars. You can certainly buy all of this there, but it's always good to have something on hand, especially if you get really hungry and the next place to get food is still a few kilometers away. It's good to have something for emergencies. And what else I would take with me, for example, is magnesium, simply because it's essential, and a few vitamins as well as amino acids. Additionally, I would bring protein powder that you can dissolve in water, but that's optional. You don't necessarily have to bring that.